I will signal boost a couple of things. There's just Netflix things. This is our next segment that we'll bring on our guest. This is Dan Harmon's life now is sitting in bed watching Netflix. From the womb to the tomb. All right, well, you got to watch the Bravo Dirty John adaptation. Even if you heard the podcast, it's crazy. The Bravo Dirty John thing.
Oh, man.
Everybody see that?
Did you check it out? You watched it?
Yeah.
How long is that? What's the episodes? What happens?
You can kill it in like 8 hours or something.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, the podcast was nuts.
Yeah, and I mean, you could go from the podcast to it's not like unenjoyable to watch the adaptation. It's somewhat more enjoyable because the thing is, having listened to the podcast, then you know that the young ladies, all the actors are killing it, but the young ladies who are playing the daughters, you know from listening to their interviews in the podcast that they're not doing caricatures of like. And it's a really interesting thing. These daughters, I won't spoil the story of Dirty John, but these daughters are just like so. If you wrote characters like this in your sitcom or your movie, they would be so. You would by default you'd be like, oh, and they're bad people just because of the trappings of them. They're just like these kind of like they judge their mom's relationships and police them and all these things because the mom's been divorced 4 times and they're just sort of like it's like, hey, I got you a chai tea latte. Oh my God, was he here again? And it's just sort of like they're fully committed to these characters, but they're great actors playing these characters. Plus, those daughters, emerge as heroes, which is all I can really say about the story without spoiling it. But it's just interesting as a writer exercise when you're like, yeah, there's characters with depth that you're supposed to like, and then there's characters that are like so fun because they're two-dimensional, but only in a real-life adaptation of something is a writer forced to take people that actually sound and seem two-dimensional and walk them through this story where they're heroos, and it's stranger than fiction kind of thing. It's just watch it. You're gonna like it. I mean, watch it for 30 seconds. You'll watch it for 40. I mean, that's the Harmon guarantee on Dirty John. Likewise, the documentary 3 Identical Strangers. Check that out. I think everybody's talking about that. The Abducted in Plain Sight. Whoo, doggy. Boy, at what price Mormonism? Check that one out. Just I don't even know.
That's what I've been saying.
It's just that after the Elizabeth
I have a
Smart thing, like I was saying,
on Blogspot.
I listened to the Elizabeth Smart book on tape, and I was so it's this weird double-edged sword because like the only way she survived that ordeal was through her faith. Like, I mean, she's such a resilient person, and I genuinely admire whenever in real life you hear stories about that involve Mormonism. It's like you come up against this, like you're like, geez, you guys really believe in God. Like that's crazy how much you believe in God. Like, and it really gets them through shit, and it makes them friendly and like forgiving. Like the forgiveness, like the weaponized forgiveness, like it's crazy. Like they're able to forgive the fuck out of things. And I mean, it's truly inspirational to anybody who's like a mainstream, just run-of-the-mill, podunk, fucking blue pill Christian.
Yeah, the
you got to take that. What color pill would be Mormonism? You got to take that
wood pill.
Daffodil pill. Anyways, but watch it. So this documentary, the Abducted in Plain Sight. It's another tale of child exploitation and abduction and stuff like that. But it is like only within a Mormon community does it seem that this stuff is possible. It's just crazy. Watch it and then we'll talk about it. I'll give you a week.